Brodeur on the back of it.
There you go.
It's like your career comes full circle.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out.
He hoisted it right there, right under the wing of the plane. And we haven't even cleared customs yet.
A day you always dream of, and it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life.
It's unbelievable to share it with people that I've known since I was little boys.
In Eastern Europe, over 6,000 miles away from the Staples Center in Los Angeles, sits a diverse nation which not long ago was part of Yugoslavia. Bordering Austria to the north and Croatia to the south, Slovenia is smaller than New Jersey. While Lord Stanley's Cup has traveled for generations across the world, it has never landed in this small country until today. Andrej Kopitar was the first Slovene to play in the National Hockey League, and he now has the honor of bringing the greatest trophy in sports back home.
Yeah, it's a special day for every guy that ever won it and will ever win it. So, you know, just to see that thing again, and knowing that you have 24 hours to just do whatever you want to do, it's pretty fun.
I had a window seat, and as we were pulling up to the terminal, he was out on the runway. So, and he had all the people from the airport out there and you could tell how special it was, not only for him, but for all his fellow Slovenians as well. When the gate opened, we got the cup right out, and he hoisted it right there, right under the wing of the plane. There we are, and we haven't even cleared customs yet, and we've got the cup out already. And to see him hoist it there, and all the baggage workers, everyone at the airport was clapping. It was pretty special.
You know, everybody knows that how hard it is, and you never know if you're going to have the chance to win it again. So, you know, I just want to soak it in as much as you can and just enjoy it to the very most of it. Tastes a little better from out of here. Yeah.
Kopitar grew up in the small village, Rusica, part of an industrial town, Jesenice. Once thriving, Jesenice was a main steel manufacturer in the Republic of Yugoslavia, employing approximately 8,000 factory workers. But after it split, Jesenice struggled to compete with more developed factories, and employment dropped to just over 1,000.
It's mostly known for a big steel town, and because we have a big steel factory that, you know, some parts of are shut down already, but there's parts of it that's still going on. And, you know, and after that, it was pretty much hockey was the only sport here. And, you know, my dad played for Jesenice too, and, you know, it was just people were working in the morning and pretty much going to hockey games.
Since I was born, I remember that everything was around here about the steel factory and hockey, and hard work, and that's how we grew up, and that's how I started playing hockey here. A lot of things changed, but hockey, I think, is still, for the kids here around, it's still number one.
You know, ever since I started, you know, I fell in love with it, and, you know, I was never forced to go to a practice. I always wanted to go. You know, probably the biggest punishment was for me not going to practice. You know, if, you know, the parents sometimes would threaten me I wasn't going to go to practice if I didn't do my homework. So, you know, I made sure my homework was done before practices every time. And for the most part, I've played with kids that are about 2 or 3, even 4 years older. So, you know, I guess my age, I was a little better than anybody else. And, you know, it's just a matter of always having fun for me.
Actually, he is a special kid somehow. I don't know. We didn't realize it long because he was just a nice raised kid, and soon when he stepped on the ice with the other guys, the older guys, everybody saw that he is something special. So that's why we prepared this famous ice here on the backyard.
Yeah, it was right here. It was this part right behind me, and my dad and my grandpa made me an ice surface that was just big enough for me, and, you know, to push the chair around, and then later on just to, you know, start skating on my own.
Every day we came home from school, our backyard was ice in the winter, and we played in the front yard during the summer. So it was when we got out of school at 1 till when the sun dropped till about 8 or 9. It was all about hockey.
My dad, and especially my mom, she was probably first Anja's coach, and she pushed us to do the rink here the rink, if you can say the rink, you know, small ice sheet. So it was really nice. And when he came from the kindergarten, he was all day long here on this. And when the dark came in, you know, we need to pull him out from there. So it was really passion and everything right from the beginning. And continue, I think he still loved to play the game a lot, and that's why success came.
That success has come quickly for Kopitar. At the age of 25, he's already one of the most famous athletes in Slovenia. His success has brought him to new heights, but before he was a king, this was his kingdom. On his first stop during his day with the Cup, we head to the top of Bled Castle.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get steeper too. We'll see if this goes down.
You're going with it.
Oh! Might as well jump with it, because somebody's gonna kill me eventually. He's asking me if I'm okay. Are you okay?
I'm not gonna lie, we have a tough time.
Although Andrzej Kopitar has become accustomed to life in Southern California, his Slovenian culture and traditions remain close to him. On his next stop with the Stanley Cup, we head back to a place that Kopitar visited a year ago, in which a ritual launched his quest for the Cup.
We're driving out to the lake. We'll take the boats called Pletna. I don't know if you can really translate that, and we'll go to the island. There's a little church on it. You ring the bell about 3 times, and then you know, you make a wish, and hopefully it does come true at some point in your life. Last year during the summer, me and Ines went to the island, rung the bell, and definitely came true. It's right here. He's asking me if I'm okay. Are you okay?
Fine.
Yeah. Ready? Huh?
Yep.
Slow clap. Thank you. You know, even on the ice when we won it, the whole pictures kind of unwind, and you remember how it is when you're a little kid and what you did, and you know, just the upbringing too. So you know, it was pretty much the same moment where you know, you think back and what you did and how you did it and everything. So it's really hard to explain, but you know, it's got a lot of memories to it.
Memories of hoisting the Cup will remain forever, just as the memory of learning how to play the game from his father will never fade.
Well, he was always a big influence in me. You know, he still is. And, you know, just because he played hockey, you know, it was not too hard for me to pick up a hockey stick and, you know, get going. So, you know, he was always my coach, always my go-to guy. He had a lot of influence on my career.
If they want to be successful, they need to work hard over the summer. So sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, we have tough time working there when, I don't know, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit out there and you need to work hard. It's tough, but you need to, and they know, and that's make my job easier. So you need to go through, otherwise those success wouldn't come.
Success did come, and it came early. In 2002, at the age of 15, Kopitar began playing for his hometown team, HK Akrani Jesenice. In just 14 games with the under-18s, he compiled an astonishing 76 points. The following year, playing in just 25 games for the junior club, Kopitar dominated the league with 60 points. It was obvious he had outgrown the competition in Slovenia, and in the summer of 2004, he faced the toughest decision of his life.
You know, that summer was big for me because I knew hockey here is maybe not as challenging as I wanted it to be, and I needed the next step.
I lost my mom. She was pretty young, in age of 53. That was really tough day for all of us, and the second toughest day in my life was when we went up to Klagenfurt to send Andrzej over to Sweden. It was really sad time for us.
I think to this day is the hardest day for me. For pretty much 14 years straight, being together, doing everything together, and then all of a sudden he left. I did have some friends here, but not as close as with my brother.
Sometimes kids are going away from home just to study in, you know, a different town of Slovenia, and you know, with being it's so small, it's usually an hour drive, and you can be home. And you know, for me, I a few more miles away from home, and you know, it was tough. I remember that day when I had to leave, and everybody was crying. It was not the same, but you know what? Looking back again, I do it you know, exactly the same way, because yeah, you got to make sacrifices. It was tough, but it was well worth it.
The sacrifice would pay off. In Kopitar's first season playing in Sweden, he led the league in scoring with 49 points in 30 games.
You know, numbers were pretty impressive too. Actually, a little surprising to me too. I knew I can play in that league, but you know, to be the leading scorer in that first year, you know, and obviously elite junior Swedish league, it was almost a little surreal.
Kopitar's quick development and staggering numbers in Sweden helped make him the top-ranked European skater in the 2005 NHL entry draft.
Los Angeles Kings are very pleased to select from Slovenia, Hansi Kopitar.
Red Line Report, one of the scouting services out there, suggests that this guy is the best natural goal scorer available in the draft.
After one more season in Sweden, Kopitar would join the Kings for his rookie year at the age of 19, making an immediate impact in his first career NHL game.
Now here's Kopitar, reach, gets to the front and scores. That was something special. His first ever NHL goal.
He'd finished the season with 61 points, third best on the team. While he was fulfilling his NHL dream, the biggest part of his life remained in Slovenia. For the family to be reunited, there would have to be yet another sacrifice.
Back then we had a restaurant too. They had to shut down, and you know, they sold that, and they pretty much invested everything in my career too. So they've always been so supportive, and you know, I wanted to have them with me.
I saw Ange's first year in LA, and I saw the city when I came after my season finished here, and I saw this big city, and really easy to screw up everything. So I said to myself and my wife, I said, listen, that's not the smart thing to leave the kids with 18, 19 years old over there in LA with a lot of opportunities, and the decision wasn't that hard.
While it was comforting for Kopitar to be living with his family once again, his main reason for wanting them to join him in Los Angeles wasn't a selfish one.
I wanted to give my brother the opportunity to get over there and get his hockey career going too, because back here maybe it's not as good of a challenge than it is over there. So you know, he responded. He's turned into a really good player, and he's actually going to Sweden for next year.
He's done a lot for me since I moved to the United States, and coming from 2,000 people here in this small village to go to 12 million people is a shock, but he walked me through it like a big brother would, and really helped me improve as a player and as a person.
I'm proud of both of them because they're really brothers. They like each other, they support each other, they help each other, and that's, for me, sport at the end of the day is just a sport, but the human being is something special for me.
Coming up, Kopitar's hometown gets its first glimpse of the Cup, but not before the most important stop of the day. Family always came first to Kopitar, which is why his next stop was the most important, a visit to his grandmother's grave.
You know, my grandma, she passed away 15 years ago, and you know, she always played hockey with me, no matter no matter what, rain outside, you know, cold outside, and she was always there with me, and it's going to be a special and a little emotional moment for me.
She was a saint. I mean, there's not much I can say, but she would do anything for us. She'd be sitting out there on the ice when it was below freezing and play with us anytime we wanted. I mean, she made us dinner, and then it was straight back to hockey, and she played with us like she was our age.
She was ready to play with him every time. If the rain was falling like today, they were in the hitting room, they were playing there, they broke a lot of glasses. She never complained about that, and I think she had a really good and big influence.
She was always my, I guess, my teammate sometimes, and you know, the opening at the other times. So that's why it was really important for me for her to, you know, to get that opportunity and you know, maybe get a glance at the Cup.
After spending time at the cemetery, his day with Lord Stanley was winding down. It was finally time to share the Cup with his hometown.
That's the best thing, you know. It goes right along with, you know, sharing it with your teammates, because you're, you know, pretty much battling for it for 9 months, and you know, to have the opportunity to spend some time with your teammates and all the parades and stuff and all the parties that were going on right after, and then to be able to bring it here and share it with people that were, you know, with me all the time, and you know, just pretty much breathe hockey with me all the time. It's very neat, and you know, something that I will never forget.
I don't think it kicked in quite yet. I don't know when it's gonna kick in, but seeing him with that cup just makes me the happiest person alive. He deserves it. He puts a lot of effort in it. He really deserves this one.
You know, now that everybody's around here, and you know, every time I look at it, you know, I remember how tough it was and how nice it is now. And you know, to have it here, you know, the actual Stanley Cup that you lift, that you hoist above your head, you know, right after the game, to have it here, where it pretty much all started. It's you know, it's pretty surreal, but it's setting in slowly.
For the time that you have the cup, you know, obviously 24 hours, it's worth every single lift and every single step you carry it. So, you know, obviously you want to do it more times, and, you know, as much as I'm going to enjoy it tonight, it's going to stay with me for the rest of my life.
Coming up, Jordan Nolan crosses a bridge to honor his culture. And while the Sutter name is etched all over the cup, find out what makes this one a first for the family. The Stanley Cup continued its tour across the world. It would stop in Amherstburg, Ontario, where Kevin Westgarth once predicted it would arrive.
We were sitting back here out one night and just hanging out, having a great time, and I started talking about hockey, and I kind of said explicitly I was going to play in the NHL one day, and then one day I'm going to bring the Stanley Cup and sit it right here. We're all going to be sitting back in our same seats, and we're all going to be celebrating. So it's just mind-boggling to, you know, to put those two things together. You know, some punk kid saying that confidently back then with no reason to, and then today it's going to be a reality. It's incredible.
After Westgarth's prediction became reality, Lord Stanley would settle into some new territory with Jordan Nolan in Garden River First Nation.
This is our reserve, this is our home, this is our community, and it's always been a big part of our culture, that bridge. And my uncle actually was one that painted it a few years ago.
My brother Rick, who started the Firefighter Association here in Reserve, he passed away 2 years ago, and he was one of the first guys that painted that bridge. This is Indian land, and it was one of those places in our community that people like to go and take photos of it, so it was just a special moment.
To stand on there with my dad and my brother and with the Stanley Cup on it was a big thing.
After crossing that bridge in Garden River, it was time for the Cup to return to a place it's visited many times, where hockey isn't everything to the sport's first family.
Coaching is what I do, but it's certainly not who I am.
A farmer from the small town of Viking, Alberta. Population of 1,085 and the home of the Sutters. Previously, the Sutter name was etched on the cup 6 times, but never before as a coach.
I think when you look at the route that Darryl had to take to get to the NHL, you know, being that late pick with Chicago and then them not signing him coming out of junior, unlike the older brothers, or Brian had got a contract and then Dwayne previous right after. Just knowing the road he had to take first to go to Japan and then come home and then trying to earn his way in the minors in Chicago's farm system, and then to see him win a Stanley Cup is it's unbelievable.
Everyone that is in national hockey or professional hockey, born and bred to win the cup, right? So he didn't get it as a player. So this is awesome. It's so special for him to have it out here and share it with all of us.
Darryl's not the kind of guy that's going to show a whole lot of emotion and be the rah-rah guy, but To see that when he won the cup after the game that night was really tear-jerking, and to see him with the emotions that he's carrying the last 2 days is pretty special.
The town is full of memories for the coach, but a stop at Community Hall was mandatory.
My dad's funeral was in there. My wedding dance was in there. You know, there's so many of my friends I've been part of there, and so that was special for me.
Have the cup come to Viking on a lovely summer weekend. It's great. Look at the crowd. What can we ask for? We've got 1,000 people in the town as a population. We probably have a good 500 here in the hall waiting to touch and look at the cup.
One of the ladies in there, she asked, how old's the cup? And I said 120. She says, oh, it's only 30 years older than me.
Daryl, I remember when he was in grade 7, he was on the student council, and I was responsible for student government. And I've got a picture of him sitting in the chair in the front row, looking very businesslike. And I would say, if you were predicting the success of a student, you would predict that he would be successful.
We're a very close-knit family, and when Daryl won the cup, he said he was putting his name on the cup for his brothers. So that did my heart good.
As the older brother, it's phenomenal, you know. Daryl did an amazing job. The team won it, and to have an event like this is for family and friends and very special occasions for Daryl and the family and the Los Angeles Kings.
In the game of hockey, there's great people, but you know, family's still family. It's still blood, and that's why it's great for Daryl to accomplish it. And we're all, you know, happy for him and excited for him.
Family always comes first in the Sutter household, and celebrating with them was important. It even sparked his 2 favorite moments of finally winning the cup after so many years in the league.
Best memory of winning the Stanley Cup is number 1, seeing, you know, we had the 4-goal lead with 3 or 4 minutes left, and just watching the players, because you know you've won it then, and just watching them. That was number 1. Number 2 was clearly when Chris had the Stanley Cup out on the ice. Clearly, those are the 2 things that will stick in my mind forever.
We all went on the ice and gave Dad a big hug, and then Chris went straight for the cup and lifted right on the ice. So it was pretty cool thing to watch for sure.
A day of celebrating and enjoying, as family first is the way the Sutters live their lives.
It's more about that we haven't forgot our roots. That's the best part. I mean, we've always come back to Alberta in the summers. We've always been part of the rural community. We've been part of ranching and farming. Our own children recognize this as home. That's what it means to me. I mean, obviously we wouldn't have what we have today without hockey, but at the same time, we can take that step back in a hurry and, you know that we're kids from Viking, Alberta.
It's time for the Stanley Cup.